Right, my friends, so in this video I'm going to take you into a new course, a new tutorial. What I'm going to show you is how to make a web page either for any purpose you want, basically your business, your about page, your services page, or a landing page that you can use for a product. So what are we going to use? We're going to use a program called Pingendo. Now, I really like creating these rapid web design sort of tutorials because you get to learn something in few minutes that is going to help you for a lifetime, believe me. Now, let me just open Pingendo, which, as I was talking about, you can find from pingendo.com. You may or may not have some knowledge on HTML. If you do, that will be of your greater advantage. If not, it's still okay. You can follow through this tutorial, but if you already know some CSS, HTML, this is going to be a piece of cake for you. This is just going to be the icing on the cake of what you already know. So beginners, intermediate, designers, experts, CSSers. Let me show you right now the magic. I'm going to create a new page right here, which is untitled. So the first thing I do is simply go and right away save it, and I'm going to index it. So I'm going to actually call it index, and then I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to create this new folder right here on my desktop, and I'm going to call this folder my web, right? And I'm just going to save this index page. Now, next thing I'm going to do is start building it. There are many techniques I can use to build it. What I will do, the ideal scenario, I will simply open a set of templates. I will just browse my templates, which I actually do have many of them, and I'm going to show you one kit that is absolutely fantastic to use. Let me just find it. And I'm going to show you a few templates from this kit called Anorexic Layouts, which you can download from the web. So let me just show you how this kit looks like. Just boilerplate, simple, minimal, responsive, reactive, performant page templates. So again, I open all these templates and I'm going to work on this one, which is called index, okay, which is empty. So what I will do in this case is I will take elements from each one. Let's say, hey, I want to borrow this top bar, paste this bad boy there. I want to, borrow this footer. Even I have to put content, so I'll just copy, paste. And basically I just build by larger components. Now, let's see if we can use something like what is this? Yeah, maybe we can take this chunk. So let's go to index, paste underneath. We have another interesting component for blocks with some numbers and why not a calculator. Anyway, so you build by component. Now we have a triple play image here. So I'm just going to borrow that. And now, as you can tell, there are no images loading, but what we can do in minutes is load this with images. Now, if you combine the template with the base placeholders, you see how you can do a lot of things. So let's placehold some images here. Let's give it a pop, let's give it a say, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this concept. So just get in there, we have no images. So that's what I like to have in this when you create a project. Let's say my web. I'm using this example, my web, and I'm going to use a new folder. I'm going to call this folder images, or actually assets, because maybe I want to toss some videos in there, maybe some MP3s later on. So I'm just going to call it openly assets, just media assets. And I'm going to toss some images, but what I want to do now is just have some, I guess, generic placeholder images. So what I want to do is open another library that I call dummy images. Let me just open this library. I'll just borrow it. So let me just go one folder with let's just go to let's just go for examples here. Or maybe I'm gonna borrow some of these. Placeholders. Now what I'm doing here is called assets in Fusion. Basically, I'm just adding assets into my assets folder, right? Now from there, because I have assets now, what I can do is start loading them from the web. All right, so what do we have here? We have some of the placeholders, and we can call those placeholders from here. Let's say this one. There you go. So now we know we can replace this image for whatever the hell we want later, right? This one goes here, this one goes here, this one goes here. Boom, we can make this bigger, why not? We can delete what we don't want, we can put new titles wherever we want them to be, and I just change my mind right now. I'm just gonna want to have it like this, and I want to have a paragraph underneath, and I also want another paragraph right here, but let's just title this paragraph with something just here and something just here. Let's just take this background and say, you know what, this is going to be dark, but let me tell you, this is going to have white text. I want to be able to read. I'm going to save it. Let's get rid of this part for the moment. We have title, subtitle, and something here. You know what, but I need some space for another story. You know, I need some, you know, more writing. So let's just put this thing here, paragraph, headings, and now let's change the heading type. So I'm just going to say these ones should be heading 3, and these ones are heading 3, and then you're going to save, and we're going to take a look, and in the look is kind of like this. Let me just go and just see it. Okay, so it's getting there. Of course, we don't have any content. So what are we going to do for content then? Well, I'm just going to go over here to my website, and I'm going to open one resource that is called copywriting. And in copywriting, There are some resources here. So there are CopySnip, copywriting, contents. You take a look at all these are text files, plain text files. We have an article, we have different things such as, about page content, action calls, coffee references. So this is a huge library. Copywriting, CW copywriting. So let's say headlines, or directionals, or value propositions, value props. Okay, a lot of things you can do. Now, how are you going to do it? That's the other part of the question. How are we going to do it? Let me tell you. Take one chunk from here, product blurbs, for example, or just simply freaking copy the hell out of it. But what example can I use? Let me just go to Ellipsum in the moment. And you see how amazing this is. Okay. Let's take all these texts as an example. Let's go back to here. And you see how you can take elements of text, put your title however you want it to be, put your headings, and you're pretty much good to go. So that's it. Let's save. Let's take a look. There you go. That's basically how you put your pages together. Now you have to play around with design and everything, but I'm just showing you the essentials. There's a lot of trial and error. You add some things, you delete some things here and there, and that's how you build things up. Very important that you feed your library of folders. Your media libraries should also be available for you, right? And what I do is host under the server a bunch of content files, for example, images, videos, for example, this library of infographic of some graphics here. What the hell? Or for example, images that I have here. Okay, so it's important that you use a media library so you can collect elements. Okay, and that's basically what it is for this course. I show you how you can use templates, how you can use components from templates and use them to build your page. So you stop thinking that, oh my god, you have to go to WordPress or Wix or all these cheesy sites where you give away basically all the control of the site to these octopuses, and the code is really bad. What they spit out actually really bad. It's not as great as what you can build straight up from scratch. Grassroot web design, grassroot HTML, compliant code, and not hacks. That's what I'm talking about. So build your site. Use Pingendo, use templates. I'm gonna leave the links to the resources. Use media libraries. Use all these tools for your advantage. Thank you very much. This is David.